So yeah, this is spawn, and I guess I should increase my video distance so that we can actually see the buildings and stuff like that at spawn. Trying to see if there's any people I don't really recognize. Mini Burger might be around spawn, but I don't think any of the other players are around anywhere. This is the spawn building. It was designed by and built by KTDNG, and it's a beautiful building. It just looks great. It's just a super looking structure. He really did a good job of it. I like the. It's got these weird little patterns. These just like random combination of blocks on the walls. It's very modern looking spawn. Usually the type of spawns we get are these like older castles and these like gothic structures. This one looks really modern, really futuristic. So yeah, well done to him. And you know, the terrain around here is pretty good. We've got nice savanna biome, and it all looks pretty good. Just ride it right through the spawn building, because why not? Oh, there's a horse in the corridor. Hilarious. We'll get a closer look at some of these signs, but we got to stash a horse probably before we walk around too much. So yeah, this is the spawn building. And I guess I can talk about the different areas at spawn. You know, when you start on this little platform here. Everybody kind of starts here at the beginning. Spawn area is protected, and so nobody can, you know, blow it up or break blocks. It sometimes confuses some new players because they're like, oh, I don't know, you know, where do I go to break blocks? There's some like instructions or whatever, just to, you know, if people are coming into the building, they might not really understand. Hey, what's the server all about? Some of there's a Kohi is a network of different sort of game modes, and so one of their game types in their lobby is hardcore HCSMP, so it links right into our server. So the people that come in here aren't always sure what they're actually facing. So we have some instructions about that. Nether portals here. Not a good idea to go in the nether portal right off the bat. You're not really well geared. There could be pigmen that can like attract you like right off. You know, sometimes people will go and they'll punch the pigmen and then they'll take off. So not a good idea to go there right off the bat if you don't have the right gear. I mean, nether's kind of dangerous without the right gear. Some people will brave it, but a lot of people will get killed by pigmen in like 10 seconds. So I wouldn't risk it. So yeah, you know, where do you build, or where can you start to break blocks? Well, the whole idea about spawn is that you have this kind of place where people can kind of meet up. They can do trading. You're protected from like PvP. Unless you're a combat tag. That means if you're outside of spawn and you start a fight with someone, you're gonna have to end it. You can't just run into spawn and you know, expect that you're gonna be safe. It used to be that way, and then sometimes is that way if there's some bugs in the plugin, but I think they fixed it. Also, sometimes what you'll see in spawn is you'll see interesting buildings. Sometimes the admins, the mods will. Not the mods, the admins will make some interesting structures or whatever, sometimes little puzzles, and sometimes there'll be just interesting little things like a little cool lounge or a little puzzle to figure out. In the past there's been some pretty cool ones. You won't see those right off the bat. They do take some time to make, but if the admins have time often they'll do that. You'll see this interesting ladder. I think we're looking at a cutaway view of the world, but I'll explain that in just a minute. Okay, so I gotta figure out a place to put my horse. I'll just stash him somewhere. Hopefully somewhere hidden where no one can see him. Maybe here. Not sure if this is a good place for him. Maybe we should do it outside the border. It's probably a better idea. Well, there's a horse there and it's still alive, so probably this is a good spot for horses. I just gotta dig a little spot to sit. We'll go at like 400 blocks. I think most noobs won't last past that, so half joking, but yeah. I probably shouldn't try and stash my horse at night. That's probably a bad idea. Stash it on top of the trees. Well, anyway, I'll find a place for my horse, and then I'll come back here. So this is the spawn border. I've ditched the horse. I'll come back to it at some point. It lets you know when you're safe and when you're not. So if you're on the red border, you're safe. If you're outside of the red border, you're not safe. So there's a little message there. I think you can be just about anywhere on the red line, as long as your cursor is past the red line, or within the red wool line, then you're safe. There's a pathway that goes out. It's pretty traditional to have at least some sort of path that tells people, okay, we'll follow this pathway, and then you'll know where to go. Just walk to the end, and then you're at your own risk. When you're just starting out at spawn, you want to make sure that you don't go out at night. You see there's mobs there. You might think you can take them on, but they can collect pretty fast. And it's dark, and if you're new to the map, you don't know really where to go or where you're going. You could end up at a body of water with all these mobs chasing after you. So wait till the daytime; it's easiest. At night, if you're waiting by the line, you can just kind of lure mobs in. They'll still follow you, and they can come in, and you can just like punch them. So it's a great way to get like some string or something like that. You just keep clicking away at them, and safety. He'll want to attack me, but he can't. Takes a lot of punching though. That's the only thing. I got string, I got spider eyes from this guy. I can eat that. It's poisonous, but you get a few of them, and at least it's a good starter food source if you need it. Sometimes there isn't a lot of wood by spawn, but ever since the new terrain update for Minecraft, there's trees everywhere. So unless someone burns them all down, you'll usually find wood. If you're at spawn, you don't see a tree, you don't see any wood at all, it might be advisable to just walk around the spawn border and get an idea of what biome you want to venture out. Just because you go out in a direction doesn't mean you have to make your base that way. Just look for terrain that looks easy. If you see a big mountain on one side of spawn, it's probably not the best place to go. If you see like a whole bunch of maybe some sparse trees or something, and you can just quickly nab a tree and not get ambushed by a creeper, that's probably a good place to go. So yeah, there's usually when the map is picked, the admins try and pick a pretty good starting point, a pretty good seed for the map, so that you've got a few biomes all around spawn, so you can take your pick. You want to go out on the water, you want to go out on trees or plains or wherever else, desert even. There's something for everybody usually. So that's spawn. You can get trapped at spawn. Sometimes there's little hidey holes in spawn, and you can fall in one and you can't get out. And you can ask an admin if you find one of those, if you find yourself trapped, and they'll be more than happy to help you out and give you a little step to get out or something like that. Admins don't want people getting stuck at spawn, but it usually happens many times per map. In my first video I had mentioned when you run around at spawn, you don't lose any food, but you lose something called food saturation. And what food saturation is it's like an invisible hunger bar. and you don't see it. But if you look at the food bar, you see how the little things are bouncing. It's the difference between those things bouncing and those things not bouncing. So that's why when you're just starting out, you just want to walk right to the edge and get going if possible, unless you plan to stay and harvest some food. These are all the rules. The rules are very kind of straightforward. Be nice. You're allowed to steal and grief and stuff like that, but I mean, don't be someone that like is just mean and nasty to other players. Nobody wants that. No hacking, of course. It's a death ban server, so if you die, be legit about it. Don't just come back on with a different account. It defeats the whole purpose. If you can just keep coming back under different accounts, then it's not a death ban server. You're still playing. Priorities: get some food when you're venturing out. You run out of food, you'll start taking damage, and then you'll die. We have forums. There's a website where you can post messages on the forum. There's a subreddit. There's people that will want to team up. They'll say, hey, team, who wants to team? But you can't always trust everybody. Some people just want to say team, and then they'll stab you in the back. I've seen it like a team of like 4 people, and they'll end up killing each other. We check to make sure that you're not playing under an alternate account, and we can tell if you're logging in from the same computer as a different player. You have to let us know if you've got a brother or a friend that comes over to your house and plays on HCSMP. You have to tell people. You have to let the admins know. And there's an alternate world called the graveyard. So if you die here, you're banned, but you're kind of just banned from the main world. You're not banned from you're not banned from the server. It used to be that way, but now there's this thing called the graveyard. You'll see anyone that's in the graveyard, especially Vicious Gamer. He loves the graveyard apparently, but he's a pro. He's a pro at surviving in the graveyard. It's always dark. There's not a lot of options for enchanting. There's no potions. There's no nether. And the terrain is really, really weird. So the graveyard is it's a challenge. It might not be something that you want to play all the time, but it's good to kind of hone your skills for surviving. If you can survive the graveyard, you can probably survive the main world. There's a donation system. You can donate and actually get revived. And it's not for everyone. If you want to play pure hardcore, then don't donate and don't get a second life. But if you just died in the cheapest way possible and you just can't wait to get back on the server, and you just want to just run back to your death spot and pick up all your gear and continue where you left off, well, you can donate and you can get an extra life and you can come back. During the summer, we usually have you don't have to donate as much, and you can donate twice in a month and get yourself revived twice. It's the summertime. People have more time to play on Minecraft, and kind of not very fun if you die right away and then that's it, you're out for the whole month, but you're off the whole month because it's summertime, summer break. Let's see what else. And there are a substantial number of Dutch players, so of course there's Dutch rules, or regels. So here are all the rules in Dutch. So I suppose if we had other players with other languages, there'd be more ladders leading to other languages. But it's just so people understand what the rules are here. It's usually fun stuff to do at spawn. Usually it's interesting to see what the designer of Spawn has designed, and all the kind of the cool little places and fun stuff they added to the building, so you can look around, you can see interesting parts of the building. This is like a modern office tower, and lots of different floors. But of course, this is a new map, so all the floors are for lease. So if you're interested, there's plenty of openings. plenty of open real estate in this building, just waiting for you to move in. So yeah, that's it's maybe later the admins will get bored and they'll put some furniture in some of the levels. This is a water ladder. This one's kind of cool. You alternate water blocks and signs, and you can just hold down your space bar and go right up. It's a good way for moving mobs around too. If you put a villager or a cow or something like that, one of these, they'll float upwards, and they'll float and they won't suffocate. So yeah, that's really cool. We've got the what's that here? Doom 8-bit. I played Doom back in the day. It was a fun game. It's it's dated. Kids nowadays would probably play that and be like, "Oh, it's so blocky." But man, it was fun. Multiplayer was really fun. This is a different looking room. It's like the royal room. You can sit on the throne here. All right. Too bad there isn't like an open patio where you can just like jump off. That's a lot of fun from spawn. You don't take any damage. You don't take any fall damage. So even if you fall off from a great height, you won't take damage. I don't know if your horse takes damage if it falls while at distance while you're in spawn. I'm not trying that with my horse. Look at this. This is like Space Odyssey or something like that. This is freaky. Cool. I don't even know how the builders come up with this stuff, but it looks pretty cool. We've got all the faces from the admins. That's Foxy, and I'm sure there's other admins and people however. We can go into Nether spawn here. I'll show you what that looks like. And usually Nether spawn isn't anything special. There's a sign here with nothing on it. Okay. So yeah, Nether spawn, the border is plus and minus 60. And often there isn't anything really. I mean, I think we have a little border marker here, so at least you know where the border is. That could be outside the border because it's not like red wool or black wool. It's someone's maybe cobble border. Could be a fake border, They don't always put a border around Nether spawn because it's one of those things that if you're in the Nether, you're expected to be, skilled at Nether. A chicken in the Nether, that's cool. Mobs just wander, and sometimes I guess they'll wander through Nether portals or something. But yeah, Nether spawn is actually pretty handy if you want to travel a large distance across the map. So you build your tunnel out, you get kind of close to the border at plus or minus 60, and then basically you can just walk a lot smaller distance. If you get stuck, the Nether's a really oddball place to try and kind of set up a spawn. So often there's some things to help you get around. The admins will put some ladders, or they'll put some stuff to help you if you're on a lower level and you're at Nether spawn. You can't pillar up. There's no way for you to get up where you need to go, and so it can be frustrating. So admins usually help out, and they'll just create a little pathway that you can follow to get you into spawn. Did I miss something? I did. So yeah, it's Nether spawn. You can still hunt, I think, gas and pigmen. You can still lure them into spawn and kill them safely, but the border is much smaller. Spawn border in the main world is plus and minus 200, so it's a little further out. I think that's about all I really have to say about spawn. There's crafting tables here, and a lot of times players will meet up here and they'll trade. It's a nice, kind of safe, neutral place. You can just go off in one corner and exchange stuff. generally people don't cheat during trades. If someone sets up to do some trading, generally I've haven't seen a lot of bad trades on HCSMP. There's a little bit of trust when you do like trading, so the person selling wants to make sure that they're reputable, that anybody can come to them and trade them, and the person buying, well, I mean, they need this stuff, so I mean, I don't know. Usually they work it out. I've seen very little cheating. Even though there's no obligation. If you want to cheat someone, you can on the server, but people still have their reputation. You still good to have a good reputation. Sometimes part of spawn is underwater, and I don't think you can launch a boat inside spawn. Like if you try and put a boat here, it says you don't have permission. Oh, look who's here. Here's someone off to go and check things out. Let's see who's that slinking. Campfire time left. Slinking. 33 minutes of protection. Okay, you're safe for now. I would never. It's just not in me to go around killing people. I mean, if someone attacked me, maybe, but yeah, that's just not my thing. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go retrieve my horse. One thing about spawn, I guess, one last thing, is that you'll see things that are really tempting, but you can't get them. Oh, also I lost my boat, because I guess it just eats my boat. It doesn't let me place it. So, what else can I say? I typed in a command here for basically campfire time left. It tells me how much time people have on their their protection once they're outside of spawn. If they're new, you can't go after them and kill them. You gotta you gotta wait until someone at least has a fair chance. You don't want to just kill people right outside spawn. No one would find that fun. Another interesting command is HCSMP info. You can run this one. It tells you how many hours you've survived. There's also a listing on the web page of all the deaths and of all the, some of the top players and how long they've played for. And normally I'll get a few days of playtime for a given map. That's normally how long I play for. You can only do so much in Minecraft before you've got other obligations in your life, but you join, you play, you chit-chat. Sometimes people are feeling chatty, sometimes not, but I don't think I have that much else to add. A lot of times what people will do is, if you go around the whole border of spawn, you'll sometimes find other people's farms or other people's little spots that they've set up. So, if you find some farmland squares, you can go and plant some, if you can get some seed, you can plant them and wait in safety. If you can kill some skeletons, you can get bone meal, that sort of thing. Anyway, I guess I'm going to get back to my horse, and then I'm going to get back to my base, and I'm probably going to be looking at creating maybe a backup chest, and just to make sure that that all the stuff I've collected doesn't just get raided one day or X-rayed one day, and then I don't have like any melons, that kind of thing. So I'll be back at my base. I'm going to prepare that, and then we'll probably try some interesting things on the server. I'm not quite sure yet. I don't. I can think of a few things that I usually do, and so maybe fight a wither or something like that. Oh, I think I have a video of that already. I don't know. Anyway, until next time, take care.